So again, would like to welcome you guys to Tiki Tuesday, where I answer questions from the community. I had to start recording again now that we have the correct title on. So I hope you guys are having a nice day. We've got a maintenance coming up this week, hoping to get some bugs fixed, as well as to get some of our projects in for Classic Server. This week, going to try to have a beginner's equipment quest. We currently have Jumping Janeway, which will get you up to level 70 in a very quick manner, and just wanted to have a quest available so you could get a starter armor's wand. So we have that information up on the forums. Let's see. Oh, you are not going to update, are you? I don't like the Twitch website. I don't care for it. Nope. Bentoned Char says, what kind of monster is going to be the weekly TIs? Also this week we put up our Destination Ragnarok video. It's a series of videos that we're doing on kind of finding places in California that have their roots, or that the towns in RO are influenced by the culture. So, you know, Amatsu going to like Japanese locations, Hugel going to Solvang in California. So that was a lot of fun. We just got that updated today. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, chat's loaded up. Right now they're fighting Mega Vadon, which is a pretty cool monster of our design. All right, let's get the chat working. Okay, there we go. Let's get to the questions from the Tiki Tuesday chat. First question is from Necroheliac, who asked 4 questions. Any update on whether the Malagdo quest should be giving EXP? Did hard mode the other day, and I just got the message 0 EXP rewarded when turning in the daily and weekly quests. Please let me know which quest specifically you're doing, and we can check the scripting for that. Question number 2, are the Mora bounty turn-in all option for VIPs fixed yet? Yes, that was 2 to 3 weeks ago. We actually did fix that. Victoria quest bug fix. Yes, that was fixed last week. Had an emergency maintenance for that one. And question number 4 is, any idea when we might be able to get this update? Daily quest cooldowns were set at 4 a.m. each day. I'm not sure exactly when we'd be getting this update. Yeah, if that just came in on February 11th this year, it's going to be a little while before we're going to get that. Next question is from Zero Tigress, who says, any ETA on these old updates we're still missing from Caro? Got a few from 2011 we've yet to get. We've continued to be pushing for these updates. Now that we have Heroes Trail Part 2 in and we're a little bit more caught up than we were before, it'll be a little bit easier for us to request these things that we're missing. I know that because of the requests that we put in, we're already we're getting the Wave Mode dungeon, and it looks like we're also going to be getting Nightmare Clock Tower, which is something that we've told them like our players desperately need to be able to level above 150. Question number 2, has Caro abandoned the Monster AI update they showcased a few years ago? And she links to a video. As far as we know, it just seems like something that they tested, but was never implemented here. But nothing that we've heard of on our end. Oops, nope, that's a little bit off. It's got a lot of HP, Quanta. Fuyuki-kun asked a question, any info about Paris cards and the rest coming in from its batch? We should be getting that data from Caro soon. Any of the items that are not prohibited that we're going to be deleting from characters migrating from Caro, we're likely going to be getting that those items, cards, and all that kind of stuff when the new servers open, because we have to have it, otherwise there's going to be a lot of Caro players who come over here and would be bugged otherwise. So we should be getting that stuff very, very soon. Also, number 2, please check the cards categorized as mini boss and MVP again that can't be traded and vended. Because I still can't sell the Wanderer card. Yeah, there's a number of cards that we locked down MVP and a lot of the mini boss cards, the individual cards. So once they drop, you're not able to sell those, and trading has been restricted. So those are you have to write in to have the GM team help with that. But as of right now, that is a intended change to prevent RMT sales of illegally created items. It's just to help the GM team while they investigate existing suspect cards and items. CCHY says, what was the deciding factor in naming the upcoming server Thor? Since the original servers were named Chaos, Loki, and Iris, why not name the upcoming one Iris? One of the issues we have is that creating a server with the name of an existing one, because of our tools, it makes it a little bit more confusing, because we have kind of old Iris data and sort of new Iris data if we created a new one. We wanted to have something that was a little bit different than just Chaos, Loki, and Iris. Certainly not because of any giant movies that are around right now. We just thought that Thor would be it's another name from Norse mythology, and I think Odin was taken for one of the RO2 servers, so we didn't want to have anything that was a RO2 server either. Legendary Torg says, please consider number 1, Boxer update. That'll be happening next month when we have a lucky box. Actually, in just a few days, will be the next month, so it'll be coming soon. Sorting out MVP card issues, hard to trade now, but rationale is understandable. We bounced back between MVP cards being dirt cheap because of issues, then now being ludicrously expensive. Having MVP or mini MVP cards being untradeable is not the long-term solution. Yeah, we definitely realize that it's not something that we'd be able to, like removing the desocketing NPC and a lot of other things. They're band-aid fixes. We're working with KRO to get more permanent solutions to the problem. We've gotten some updates from them about their server guys needing time to look at what the problem is. But we have drilled into them that this is a major issue. Number 3 is vending limit increase to 1 billion any news. We've sent them the request again. Every community report I send to Karo lets them know, like, hey, the community really wants this 1 billion Zenny increase. King Arthur 6687 says, any chance of you guys looking into alleviating the lag from spotlight areas? Geffen was near unplayable last spotlight, and this Juno spotlight is a bit of a bugger to be playing with because of the lag. I hear the lag is also spilling into other maps, like the TI high TI map that shares zone servers with Juno. If there's a lot of highly populated maps on the same zone server, we can move those around. Unfortunately, one of the issues with RO is that it's not taking full advantage of the machines that we put them on. So even maps where we're putting them with kind of their own zone to themselves is still not able to get the full horsepower out of the servers we have. If you have tracer reports, we can take a look and see if it might actually be the connections that could have a problem instead of just our servers. But yeah, if you're running into a lot of lag, getting a tracer report for us would help to kind of isolate what the problem is and is not. Crispy Leia says, fix your green screen, Oda. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have studio lighting in here, but it was basically on loan from one of our employees. And they need it back again, so we don't have the nice even lighting that would make the green screen a little bit easier to deal with. All right, and so Genius, his question was, what will happen to those RO accounts that forget their password and owners cannot do anything to recover the password because Level Up and Play Park is no longer supported by RO? That'll be really tough if you were not able to recover your account, because technically, you have to have participated in the Level Up process or the opt-in process to be able to tell Level Up that you authorize your information to be given to us. Without you agreeing to do that, legally, we're not really supposed to be touching those accounts. Verifying your information after the fact, depending on the data that we get from PRO, I'm not sure if that might still be possible. But yeah, if you were not able to recover your account and if you're not able to opt in, you we'll have to see about that. I'd recommend writing in. Question number 2 is, what will happen to the permanent halters? Piero has them, and I'm just wondering. The permanent halters are an item that ask Camp Store about that. I think that is likely to be one of those things where, it's not on the list of banned items that need to be removed, so it's likely something that will be implemented on IRO, and it'll still exist on players who have them on PRO. Number 2, will those past event quests be removed? I hope it will, because my main character has plenty of quests that are finished but not removed when those events ended years ago. We'll probably be removing some of those quests, but I don't think we're going to be doing a blanket delete of all the quests that players have. But we'll have to take a look for that when we get that data. Last but not the least, will hidden enchant slotted middle gears be available in IRO? Pyro already implemented it years ago, and most Pyro players have that. Again, it's one of those items where it's not banned. It's not one of those that we're going to be deleting, so we probably will be getting it on IRO when the new server gets opened up. Okay, since it's about WrestleMania, did you hear the news of who is the current champion? I know who it is, but I can't spoil the others who didn't watch WrestleMania and Raw after that, so I won't tell it. Anyways, what's your reaction on that surprise? You know what? I'm pleasantly surprised by how WrestleMania worked out this year. It's the first one I ever watched. I bought into the WWE Network for $9.99. And it was a lot of fun watching it live and just chatting with people on a sub forum about each match and stuff like that, real time. That was just a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely buy into the whole thing of Roman Reigns kind of not being ready for having the top slot, and kind of him being pushed a little bit too hard. And so it was nice that it was a surprise how it ended very abruptly, kind of in a surprise thing. And, I think in something where, like wrestling, everything is kind of like preordained to happen, it is nice to have surprises. What are you watching for the current WWE, and who is your favorite superstar? I'd have to say that currently watching through the Monday Night Wars documentary series, it's pretty darn interesting. It's an era of wrestling that I'm mostly unfamiliar with. I knew like Hulk Hogan, Big Boss Man, the $1 Million Man, Sergeant Slaughter, all the 1980s wrestlers. So finding out about the Attitude Era, WCW, it's all a lot of fun to actually catch up on that stuff. Favorite superstar, I think, is still Mick Foley. He was kind of the first wrestler I ever learned about because I watched the documentary. What the heck was that called? Something in the ring, out of the ring, inside the ring. And it kind of talked about him, and he seemed like a really normal guy who has the craziest kind of psycho gimmicks. And so him being kind of a mild-mannered family man is something that is a pretty cool contrast. I like how people are just starting to sit down like, yeah, it's fine. Terrence1 says, just one question. When will we speed up the updates process? 6-month buffer would also be helpful. It's something that we've been working on for years to get a little bit more caught up. We're getting a little bit closer. The pace that we've actually gotten Heroes Trail 2 and that we're going to be getting the Wave Mode dungeon is actually pretty darn fast. We're still considerably behind, but I guess compared to other versions of the game, not as much, but it's still not optimal. What do you want next? When will we speed up the update process is something that we're working with our contacts in Cairo to get them on Trello. It's a pretty cool service. That allows you to see in real time, kind of like tracking sort of tracking larger processes. It's kind of like a bulletin board. But we've made our first one of these public, so I think you guys should be able to see that here. We're eventually going to have more of these available for the community to see. All right, next question we have is from Sholin. What about the homunculus leveling issue we've been discussing? Is it possible to use bounty boards to level them? For bounty boards, unfortunately, we're not able to have an NPC give experience to a homunculus. That's not something where the call exists in the script to make that happen. But we kind of like what we do for experience events where we reduce the amount of EXP required to level is something but we may be able to reduce the amount of EXP required for homunculus to level as a event. So that's actually kind of an interesting idea to be able to make it a little bit easier as an event to level homunculus. The thing that we're not able to really change easily is the the intimacy. Inbashiri says, Zero Tigris was discussing bounty boards from Homunculus. The main issue is I don't think there is a thing in our scripting that can give EXP to a Homunculus. Like I said, it would be more likely for us to reduce the amount of EXP required for them to level. Undying says Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock. You know what? I really like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He fought against the Authority, unlike The Rock, who joined up with the villainous Vince McMahon. Sculper345 says, can the Tartarus be put back the way it used to be? By that I mean taking out the summoning quest so it spawns like a normal MVP. I mean, we can look at that. Oh, these guys are killing them real easy. Misery says, of wrestlers past and present, who would be in your dream tag team match? I think it would be interesting to see, like, Sergeant Slaughter and, like, the Marine era John Cena, like, time travel and fight against, like, the Iron Sheik and Rusev or something like that. Just make it as, or if not Sergeant Slaughter, like Hulk Hogan and John Cena versus Rusev and Iron Sheik, just like the ultimate, like, jingoistic, you know, America versus the bad guy kind of thing. Are we going to be getting a fix for the old costume Halloween masks that didn't have their effects removed? They're currently a huge advantage for anyone owning one and huge disadvantage for viable classes not owning one. Yeah, we're going to have to be a lot better about event items, effects kind of going away, otherwise everything ends up like the Rudolph hairband. Any new event effect that we're putting in, we're putting a time when they go away. And so we're going to have to set those for a lot of the older items. Melly says, hello there, just one question. Why was the Robe of Caste removed from Eve Natalia? It's one of the 3 gears from Bio 3 that you could trade for one cert. It suddenly got removed 2 weeks ago. That I'm going to have to ask about. Hoy Carnage says, can you please reverse the decision to make mini-boss cards untradeable? It doesn't stop the scammers, and it only makes life difficult for legit players. For most of the mini boss cards, that's probably something that could be changed. It's mostly like the Devil Ring, Angel Ring, Maya Purple ones that are in question. "48,531 says, can there be a revert for the change to the Mastellan NPC in Hugel? Also the Fireworks Sower NPC. You have to be a little more specific about it. I don't recall the change." Turtle says, Oda, when can I fulfill my dream of owning an orchid hairband headgear? They were only given as prize for Artemis years ago. A handful of them have been given out for contests, kind of like community event style stuff in the past. So it's kind of like an event giveaway item, so keep an eye out for contests on the forums. For opportunities to win some of the headgears that we haven't made available otherwise. Pop-Tarts Gold 209 says, are you excited for Tree Savior? It's kind of a competitor title to us, but it's something where, well, have to wait and see. But yeah, I have not really heard much about that recently. All right, so actually I wanted to show off the, let me see if there's any more questions. So we're not going to be in this Friday, so we're not going to have a War Portal weekly stream. Okay, that's the last question there. So let me... let's see. Armorth says, so you think Classic has to stop being Classic? You know, it's something where one thing that we had realized is that for the Classic server, you know, you kind of wanted to be that experience that you remember from pre-renewal, but we also have a older player base who has less time to be gaming, so you kind of had these two forces that kind of collided. I think the big thing for us is keeping Classic's mechanics. You know, it's the lack of a EXP penalty for monsters that are above or below your level. It's that stats mean more on Classic server. I think, you know, most players kind of agree now that they want to see more content, you know, tailored for the pre-renewal experience, kind of like what renewal could have been. Let's see. Let's get that added. Come on. So this is what Trello looks like. It should be showing properly now. Nope. This thing of OBS freaking out if things are in front of the window is really annoying. So let's see if you guys can see it. All right, so this is Trello. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust that in the settings. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can make it not that's annoying. Anyway, this is our big list of bugs. This is visible for everybody. Yeah, I really need to have 3 full monitors on this thing. But basically, this is where we're going to be tracking the bugs that we have. You're actually able to grab these cards and sort of move them to other to these other categories. So, for instance, the stasis effect can travel through walls, and well, we reported it up as a bug to Kero. And they told us it was working as intended. Not something we necessarily agree with, but you know, it's what can you do when the development team says it is not a bug. Nightmare Dungeon monsters spam skills at high rate. That's another thing that we reported to them. We actually received the data for their, we asked them to check, and they said the AI for that monster is not different on our server from theirs. So at least now it is not considered a bug. So we're basically just working on populating the list with reported bugs from the community and from stuff that we've already sent over to them, just so that it's tracked in this list. So Crispy Lays says, where are the RO merchandise? We actually have for a limited time more, we have some RO shirts available. There's Rose cases. We're actually looking at getting a new vendor where we would be able to sell shirts, cell phone cases, posters, mouse pads. Looking at merchandising where right now, if you buy the shirt, it's a little pricey and it takes a long time for it to get shipped to you. That's something we're not very happy with, so we're actually working to Yeah, personally, I'd like to see more oral merchandise, and so that's something that we're working on this year. Is sort of new platform, better service, and having more items available. One of the things we're actually currently developing is we've had a lot of players ask for an RO logo shirt where it'd have the RO logo on there, and so we're actually working on designing kind of a nicer looking version of that. And so hopefully we'll have that when we go live with a new service. I'll have to bug some people about that, but we'll probably have some more designs ready then. It's also quite possible that we'll have a community art t-shirt design contest, maybe a little bit closer to the summertime, so we can have some more creations created. So you can kind of see how we're adding stuff to this. Oof, that was a little tough. Little tough. This is Alberta is a place of death, and yeah. So just kind of wanted to show this off. Pablo Pokemon says, "What keyboard do you have?" This is just, I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but it's a, yeah, it's a Dell keyboard. We're actually upgrading keyboards in the office. No, they're not. They're not. It's certainly not mechanical. I just type loudly. I don't even know if you guys are seeing this. I actually have one of these at my desk now. It's a Razer Black Widow Stealth, and I definitely like it more than, well, I like it more than the Dell one. But it's pretty much my first mechanical keyboard, so I'm pretty excited about that. Well, it looks like everyone's dead in Alberta, so okay. I guess that's you know, I sold back my old phone when I got this one, so I've got a little bit of an Amazon gift card coming in the mail. So I'm probably going to pick up the Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition. I don't really need the number keys, but you know, I think I'd like to. I usually tend to be playing, you know, with a controller or a joystick or something like that. So I don't use the keyboard a ton. But I really like the feel of the mechanical keyboard. Oh, I'm being told that whoops. Okay, that's, I guess it's a little bit closer to where the zone in is happening. I'll lead them back. So yeah, they're here at the zone in. I mean, I don't have a tremendous need for a 10 key. I kind of do like a slightly more compact, like at work, I need the 10 key for a lot of different things, Excel and stuff like that. But for home, I think I could probably get away with just having a 10 keyless. But I really do like the feel of the mechanical keyboard. You know, going back to this after using a mechanical is like not, doesn't compare that well. But okay, I think that's about all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching Tiki Tuesday. Like I said, we're not going to be here on Friday. We've got Easter off. So I'm actually going to be going to the comic convention, not Kamikaze, it's the other one, in Los Angeles on Friday. So I'm going to get some pictures, maybe some video to share with you guys next week. So until then, you know, hope I answered the questions, and thank you guys so much for watching. Maintenance is tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp, and see you then.